Most respected, dear family members, my pranams to you. So many of our family members, friends, and well-wishers of Indian Institute of Scientific Heritage, and also people from different walks of life, they used to call me and ask a number of questions. Simple questions, serious questions, silly questions, and casual questions. Answering those questions are not that difficult, but the answers of those questions are not that useful. There can be very many number of views and answers for each question. I always used to say, for Christians only one book is there. For Muslims also there is only one book. For Sikh, Buddhist, Jaina, and so on, you can see they have got only one religious book. But for Hindus, there are 2000 foundation literature, 10,000 commentaries of these foundation literature, and more than 1 lakh sub-commentaries in regional languages. In short, thousands and thousands of literature written in thousands of subjects, written by thousands of rishis for the last many thousands years. Many of these rishis might have given the answer for the question in different ways. Say for example, how the last ritual, Andyeshti, after death ritual is to be performed. What Baudhayana Pidrameda Sutram describes. It is different from Katyayana Pidrameda Sutram. Again, these two are different from Baudhayana, Katyayana, Apastamba Pidrameda Sutram. What is given in Manava Pidrameda Sutram is different from all the other three. So there can be different views, different answers for the same question. And many of these answers are not needed in the 21st century. Some of the things there may not be any answer at all. If somebody is asking you the question why earth is spherical, then it is irrelevant to answer the question unless that individual is so curious and so seriously asking particular question for a particular occasion. There are hundreds and thousands of questions that can be asked about Hindu Dharma. Now, due to the specific interest, high level of interest in Hindu Dharma, what is happening? Many Hindus, particularly youngsters, are trying to answer the questions asked by Christians, Muslims and communists without knowing the scientific, logical and rational background of the answer. Many people start asking the question and many people start giving the answer without knowing anything about the answer. The people who are answering the question, they think that if I do not answer this particular question, my level will go down. And the people who are answering certain question, they also have got a wrong way of scientifying some of these aspects. Even though some of these customs, rituals, belief, faith, and traditions, this may not have any scientific relevance. Still, some people justify it by somehow explaining on the basis of science. Why I am explaining all these things to you? I used to tell, and I have told, and I want to repeatedly tell that any one of you or your colleagues, your friends, your family members, if you do not know the answer of a particular question, make it a point to tell the person who is asking the question to you. You should tell that I do not know the answer. First, we should learn to tell I do not know the answer if really I do not know that. Cooking an answer and telling will distort the fact. And also, when you tell that I do not know the answer, you have also got a responsibility to tell that I am not interested in acquiring that knowledge about which you are asking the question. If you are not interested in giving a correct answer, you tell that you are not interested. If you do not know the answer, tell that I do not know the answer. And do not become a champion of answering Hindu Dharma's question by unnecessarily taking the responsibility of trying to answer somebody. Majority of the people ask me the question, they generally say, one of my friends asked me this question, why we are using the flowers for puja. You don't take, you need not take, and you should not take the responsibility of inquiring an answer for a question asked by somebody. That question might have been asked just like that or casually, for which you are trying to answer in the name that you are also a Pandit. So, first of all, as I told you in the beginning, there are 200 foundation literature for Hindu Dharma written in Sanskrit, 10,000 commentaries written in Sanskrit, 10,000 commentaries for these foundation literature written in Sanskrit. There are almost 1 lakh sub-commentaries written in 16 Indian languages. Each of the author has the freedom to interpret and explain any aspect of Hindu Dharma. Hindu Dharma never prevents you from freely thinking and freely writing books. Anyone has the freedom to interpret and misinterpret any of the knowledge existed or existing in India. So many people might have given many answers, for which if you try to justify and if you try to explain, if you try to scientify that, and if you try to put a logical background for that, that means without your knowing the fact and figures, without your knowing the real aspect of that, you want to shine by saying that you are a knowledgeable person in that particular issue. Now, wherever I go for delivering lecture, I have seen many youngsters at the age of 17 or 18 or 20, they argue with the elders, they argue with the priest, they argue with the Christians and Muslims about the simplest aspects which can be just ignored, and they argue just to project that they are Hindus, we are Hindus, we know this particular issue, we are well versed in this one, and I have read in the book that this should be done. This they want to project and just like that argue to the core of the subject. It leads even to the level of fight. And even midnight people used to call me, particularly these youngsters used to call me and ask the question as though the heaven is going to fall down. So for simple silly things or very complicated serious things, the answer that you should give, if you do not know the answer, simply, I do not know the answer. If I get the answer, I shall tell you. You are asking the question has provoked my interest in learning that. I shall try to learn, and if I get the answer, I shall tell you. Meanwhile, if you get the answer, you also inform me. Here ends the matter. Don't try to become an advocate or judge for a subject about which you are 100% ignorant. Why I am telling like this, you know, for every aspect in Hindu Dharma, we always used to say unity in diversity. Vividhadamem ekata. So for each issue, you are free to adopt and adapt the pathway you like. You can accept and reject many things. You can do addition, deletion, modification and correction. Our customs and rituals and our acharas are not for going to heaven. Our God concept is entirely different from the concept of Christians and Muslims. Our gods are not judges or advocates or IG of police. So, partly thinking like Christians and Muslims and partly thinking like Hindus and mixing and confusing everything has become the order of the day, particularly for the youngsters. Why I repeatedly tell this? If you are asking me a question, why Gopalakrishnan you are so much serious about it? My simple answer to you, I have seen many people, I am seeing now also, many people when they ask a question casually, just like that asking the question without any seriousness, those questions are pumped to me, to Indian Institute of Scientific Heritage, and they call me over phone or SMS, or they call me, they inform me, ask me the question through email, where very much unnecessary things are asked, and even the person who is asking the question is not serious enough to get an answer for that. He or majority are asking the question just like that. Just like that means not for informing. Since you are there, I am asking the question, that's all. And many people, whenever I go for lecture, I have seen many people asking me, where you are from, when did you come, how did you come, is that journey comfortable? Then suppose I am asking a question back, why you are asking all these questions, is it important? Instantaneously 100% of the persons who asked me such questions, they say, no, I just like that asked, not seriously. Casually I asked, because you are standing here, I asked that one. So many people ask the question not for getting the answer, but for the sake of asking questions. To all the youngsters, particularly who pose the champion of the Hindu Dharma, and particularly those who think that one, I am given the responsibility like a king to protect the Hindu Dharmas, acharas, vicharas, vishwasas, sankalpas, messages and so on. But remember that the best method for answering a question, if you do not know, is openly with the transparency, tell that I do not know, and that will save lot of your time, lot of your confusion, and lot of unnecessary creating an environment or a circumstance to get into a conflicting environment. When you answer a question, the other fellow need not keep quiet. He may counter ask further questions. There you may get just blasted off, or just you may be getting blocked. Then further you may not be in a position to answer. So yesterday one person asked me from I think Bahrain, asked why we are giving betel and areca. It is a ritual. There may be an answer, there may not be an answer. Then I asked him the question, are you very serious to know the answer? No, one of my friends asked me, then what is the answer that you have given? I immediately told him that I shall call back to India, I shall ask Dr. Gopalesan and I shall tell you why we are using betel leaves and areca. Suppose you do not know the answer for the question why we are using betel leaves and areca, what is going to happen? If you do not know, nothing is going to happen. It is not a must that you should know about the background of that. But certain issues are not like that. For some cases you are expected to know the answer, and if you know, you are expected to give the answer. For some other purposes, the ignorance about the answer will not create any problem for you. And many people, they think that when if I am posing to others that I am ignorant, it is bad. There is nothing like that bad or good for anybody. If you do not know, tell that you do not know. Your ignorance can be rectified by later reading the books and fundamentally trying to understand as many aspects of Hindu Dharma as possible. Remember that we do not have, and we don't have one book. We have got hundreds and thousands of books. Reading all these books impossible. The traditions and customs followed in different states of India are different. The concept and the messages, the stories, the experiences given in different books are different. And the same book has got different versions. As you may be knowing that in Andhra Pradesh, there are 420 type of Ramayanas. It is not singly Valmiki Ramayana or Tulasidasa Ramayana. In Kerala, we have got 230 or something Ramayana written by different people. We think that Ramayana is one book, but different people have given different commentaries and put in different ways. And the way in which it is presented, they are different, entirely different. Even the contents are different. So if you try to answer for the question whether Rama has taken meat when he was touring through the forest, when he was walking through the forest, some people say yes, some people say no, and you start arguing about an issue which might have occurred or might not have occurred in Treta Yuga. What is the importance in arguing with that? One person asked me the same question, that whether Rama was a non-vegetarian or not. And you know, Rama was not a Brahmin, Rama was not a Vedic scholar, Rama was a Kshatriya. He had to fight the war, he was the king. Nowhere in our book it is told that a Kshatriya should not take meat. A Kshatriya can, or Kshatriya need, or Kshatriya need not take meat. It is left to them. If they have to continuously fight the war and keep that physical strength, they may have to take the meat. And Rama's taking meat is not a justification for your taking the meat, because you need not follow Rama's steps for taking the meat only. Many a times people take the piece of the answer and then utilize for their benefit. And if you are following the whole concept, the messages and the lifestyle of Rama in your life, in toto, then it is okay. But for justifying my wrongdoing, I quote from Ramayana or I quote from Mahabharata. This type of questions also will be coming. Whether Rama takes meat or Rama does not take meat, how it is going to affect you? how it is going to affect your reading and taking the message of Ramayana. And if gives you a justification for your taking a meat, you need not follow Rama. You can independently take meat. Why you are taking the justification of Rama's taking the meat for your taking this meat? Whether Rama takes the meat or Rama consumes the meat or eat the meat, it does not prevent you, it does not support you for your taking the meat. So go on your own way. Think rationally, logically, scientifically. Don't submit your brain and rational thinking to somebody else, and don't go on asking the questions to others. And instead of that, you try to read and try to collect an integrated answer for the questions. Try to understand what are the Vedic messages. Try to understand what are the experiences and messages given in Ramayana. Similarly, try to understand what are the messages given, experiences given, and the stories given in Mahabharata. Why Puranas are written? What are the messages of Shad Darshanas? What are the messages of Upanishad? Why Brahmana Granthas are written? Why Aranyakas are written? You try to answer that. It will not take long time for you to get at least a superficial message of that. At least a shallow message, not an in-depth message. Once you have got the map of India, you can decide where to go, when to go, how to go, why to go, and what is the route to be opted for going there. Like that, try to collect some of the good messages, and you also interpret in your own way for your understanding, but it should be logical, and then you try to teach others. But again, I repeat, many people, many people, they try to project themselves by giving entirely distorted answers which are not relevant at all. But remember that Hindus, Christians and Muslims are, and also particularly CPM, hardcore people who once upon a time rejected the whole temple concept, and once upon a time denigrated, rejected, degraded Hindu Dharma. They are so serious and so curious to understand the Hindu Dharma now. And many of them, they go to the fake sannyasis, and many of them go to the fake scholars and try to get some answer and try again to criticize that. So if you are not giving the proper answer, then definitely that will again degrade Hindu Dharma. And your answer will be taken as the answer of the scholar's answer. Your answer will be taken as the authentic answer. To avoid all these things, my request to you is that try to learn as much as possible. Try to answer the questions asked by many people logically, scientifically and rationally, and try to go deep into Hindu Dharma. And if at all you are giving the answer to the people about a subject you know, tell them that this appears to be the answer for me. There can be different answers also. Many books give many type of answers. So according to me, I think this is the answer. And suppose if you do not know the answer clearly, you tell that I do not know the answer. If you have got the urge to further inquire the answer, tell him that I shall try to find out the answer, but don't try to become a broker for answering the question. You need not be a middleman for a knowledgeable person and an ignorant person. You tell him to find out the answer. Don't become a carrier for that, because your level of knowledge need not be very high. You may be asking the question to one of the scholars. That scholar may be giving you an answer. You will be answering this answer in your own way to other persons. What I have also found out that when I told in one of the speeches I was fortunate enough to take my biochemistry PhD in 623 days. A doctor was presiding over that lecture. The doctor asked me the question, Gopalakrishnan, how could you take PhD in 623 hours? I told 623 days. He heard it 623 hours. So suppose he is telling the same thing to others, that will definitely get myself degraded. It will be appearing as though I am claiming an impossible thing. But what the doctor heard was wrong. What I said was correct. So like this, what you listen, what you watch, what you discuss, what you think, and what you understand out of all these things may not be a fact, truth, essence. It may only be nearer to fact, truth and essence. So don't try to carry the question from one person to the scholar, and don't try to carry the answer from the scholar to the person who asked the question. Instead of that, you learn. If you know answer, best answer for majority of the question is, I do not know the answer. Second answer is, the answer for such a question is not that relevant, that important in 21st century. The third answer, I think this particular thing is connected with so and so. It may be correct or may not be correct. If you search the answer and you get the answer, please tell me. If I get the answer, I shall tell you. So my request to you, that don't bring all the questions to this direction. I may not be in a position to answer many questions, because my knowledge is only half a bucket of water from the ocean of Indian heritage knowledge. If I am carrying half a bucket water from the ocean, and if I start telling you that the whole ocean is in my bucket, how much blunder it will be. Exactly like that, my knowledge has got limitation. Right from morning till midnight, many people ask, many people call me, many people send emails, many people send SMS, and just for knowing and very unimportant questions, just for knowing the answer of least important questions. My request to you, learn as much as possible. My request to you, that you should understand that the Indian knowledge is like an ocean. It is not confined to one book. It is not confined to one individual. It is not confined to a particular era in the past. Thousands and thousands of books are written in thousands of subjects by thousands of scholars for the last many thousands of years, from which a question answering is not that easy. So if you know, answer. If you do not know, tell that I do not know the answer. And particularly to youngsters, I want to remind them that they are ignorant about Indian heritage. Majority of them are not at all interested in going deep into Indian heritage. At the same time, many of the youngsters are interested in fighting about a particular trivial issues on Hindu Dharma, for which they want to post that they are masters and they are the protectors and saviors of Hindu Dharma. To youngsters and youth, I want to tell you, your ignorance should not become a punishment for others. Your absence of knowledge should not guide others. And your ego should not create problem for others. With these words, I would like to express my gratitude. Whatever I told you, you need not take it in full. You can also subject my message through addition, deletion, modification and correction. Then accept it whatever you feel worth accepting. Reject it whatever you feel not worth accepting. With these words, once again my pranams to you. Thank you very much.